Another master versus apprentice encounter this weekend in the Premier League. Of course, Arsenal against Manchester City. Last weekend was Chelsea against Manchester City. Master versus apprentice. Pep Guardiola against Enzo Maresca, his former assistant. And this weekend again is going to be Mikel Arteta against Pep Guardiola at the Emirates. And in the past couple of games, if you look at the record between head-to-head between Arsenal and Manchester City, at a point, Manchester City, we are beating Arsenal back to back in the Premier League for like 10 straight games, over 10 straight games in the Premier League. But in the past couple of games, it's been an even Stevens encounter between Arsenal and Manchester City. Close, edgy game, and some are saying it's going to be boring, all this kind of stuff. But I don't know what to expect this weekend. But let's look at the players available for both sides, Manchester City and Arsenal, and their current form. Arsenal are title contenders, quote and unquote. I don't know if Arsenal are serious guys who contenders. Well, I don't know. But Man City are out of it this season. 4 consecutive Premier League champions of England. They've won Premier League. Yeah, 4 times in a row. And this season, so many expected them to win 5 times in a row, but it didn't happen. But let's talk about Arsenal and Manchester City this weekend at the Emirates. Arsenal won Manchester City last season, 1-0 at the Emirates, courtesy of that deflated effort. And Arsenal fans were over the moon. And this weekend again, Manchester City will be traveling to the Emirates. Struggling Manchester City, though they are trying to get their form with some of the players they've bought. But let's look at the players available. Rodri is out of season. He may likely play at some point for City. They are going to register him for the Champions League, but he's not going to be available. The likes of Ruben Diaz will not be available.
Won't be fully fit.
Yeah, he's not fully fit. Nathan Ake will not be available for Manchester City. And Jeremy Doku will not be available. So other players will be available for Manchester City. For Arsenal, the likes of Bukayo Saka may not be available for selection. All right. Martin Odegaard may be fit for this game. Most of them rested during the midweek Champions League game they won against Girona away from home. But looking at it, with the players available, who do you think is likely going to take this? But let's look at for Manchester City. Kyle Walker is out. He now plays for AC Milan, so he's on loan at AC Milan. So Manchester City are going to make do with Matheus Nunes and Matheus
right back.
Yeah, as right back. So Matheus Nunes will either come up against Leandro Trossard or Gabriel Martinelli. So let's look at that battle. Matheus Nunes, and some are saying he's the weak link for the Manchester City defense.
Well, it all depends on Guardiola. You know, he plays. He wants his fullback to attack at all times. You know, in a team where you have deadly wingers like Martinelli and Saka. Saka is out.
Yeah, Saka is out. So
I don't know.
Trossard and Martinelli will likely play.
But that's not plays with fluidity. They attack you at any time. So I believe that Nunes won't be attacking that much, just like Guardiola always wants him to attack. There will be a tactical switch. You know, he's a masterclass. He's the main man. He taught Arteta how to play, coaching and all of that. And during the years, over the years, he has always been come up against his apprentice. He has always been the one on top, regardless of what the result comes out. I believe he's always have an edge ahead of all of them.
Yeah.
But I believe it's going to be a squid game, like a draw game, just like the last time.
Yeah, you said he thought Arteta, but it seems like Arteta had learnt and has added others. You know, the way Arteta plays, he doesn't play like someone that learnt from Guardiola. He plays like someone that learnt all around. Sometimes you see a touch of Jose Mourinho, sometimes you see a touch of Diego Simeone, sometimes you see a touch of Carlo Ancelotti, everything all around. So if you look at it, Mikel Arteta, Arsenal, you know, this is a game that used to be one-sided. So how did it all of a sudden become a close battle?
Okay, you know, Manchester City, they have an age squad. You know, during the summer, Guardiola was supposed to address his squad, but he opted not to address it. You know, he saw the players like Julian Alvarez. You know, this is a guy that when he comes on, he makes differences in big games. He can always play. He can even play anywhere in that attack. Thanks to God, he realized himself, but he was already late. When he realized he now went into the transfer window and got a player like Omar Mamouche to Alvarez, a replacement for Alvarez. So I believe that this particular game now, you know, Omar Mamouche have not really gelled into the team, but he's going to do something. I believe he's going to give away in the team. And then, you know, Manchester City still needs rebuild, a total rebuild. The players are aging. He needs to address the defense, of which he has really acted in the transfer window. But these players needs time to adjust to his patterns and all of that. Then in the attack, in the midfield, Kevin De Bruyne is aged. He needs replacement. You know, Gundogan is aged. He needs replacement players who can control the game and all of that. But I will always say, in conclusion, never doubt Pep Guardiola team. Anything can happen.
So going into this weekend, we saw Omar Mamouche against Chelsea. The difference he made. Man City, we are fluid going forward. We saw that fluidity. We saw that Man City going out all guns blazing like they've not done. They've been lethargic this season. They've been that retractive. They've been conservative in games. But against Chelsea, you saw them running around. Or maybe all thanks to Omar Mamouche, because he was always drawing a defender, a Chelsea defender, towards his direction, making spaces for the likes of Foden, Haaland to operate. And this weekend, he's going to play. Again, in the Champions League, he wasn't eligible to play. He's eligible to play against Arsenal. If he plays, you know, team selection is something that people have already talked about, you know, as regards Pep Guardiola, one of the issues that he's having. If he plays, would he make a difference against Arsenal? Looking at the way that this game has panned out, you know, it's been boring. In the past 3-4 games, Arsenal, Manchester City have been boring. But with the addition of Omar Mamouche, who is more like a spark, in that team, would he make a difference? Because we see that battle that we always look forward to, Arsenal, Man City, Erling Haaland, William Saliba, and Gabriel Magalhaes. They say Arsenal defenders knows how to pocket Haaland. But this time around, you have an Omar Mamouche who roams around, who roams forward. Is it going to be that difference between Arsenal and Manchester City? Because when the likes of Gabriel Magalhaes and Saliba, you know, goes very close or too tight to Erling Haaland, you have someone that is running behind, that is going to take advantage of some of the spaces left behind.
Okay, yes. I think it's going to be a different game. Now, before Mamouche came, he was in the top 4. Then he came, Guardiola put him in a game, the last game that they played, not in the Champions League, but in the Premier League. He performed very well. We all know the quality that the guy brings into the game. He's a player that can hold up ball, dribble, and then give assists. We can check the numbers. He has really scored a 20-something number of goals and assists this season. So I believe
30-something, over 30 goals contribution.
Yeah, over 30 goals contribution this season. So I believe he's going to make an impact, which is what we are looking up to. And with Guardiola in the game, he knows. I've never really doubted Guardiola, his tactical approach in the games and all of that. So no, I believe that Man City is going to come out with something.
Yeah, they're going to come out with something. But let's look at Man City defense against Arsenal attack. Arsenal don't have an out-and-out striker. Kai Havertz, the likes of Trossard and Martinelli are going to be the one. But let's look at the battle of the midfield. Kovacic, Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne are likely going to be those in the midfield for Manchester City. Arsenal, they're likely going to have Thomas Partey, Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard. Who do you think would win the midfield battle? Because that's where both managers, you know, center their tactics on midfield matches, you know, midfield games. Who do you think would win the battle in the middle of the pack?
Pep Guardiola is a midfield masterclass. He will always come up against on the top of the game. Like, he will always be at the top in kinds of midfield position and all of that. He will always be out of that. But what we are looking at is result. And Arsenal is chasing the Premier League. Pep Guardiola is chasing the top 4 as things stands now. But I believe that Pep Guardiola will come up on their position. So
you are already giving it the way you are saying. You are thinking towards Manchester City victory against Arsenal at the Emirates.
No, it's a squid. Just like I said initially, I said it's going to be a squid. It's going to be a draw game.
Right, it's going to be a draw game, just like we've seen the past couple of.
Yeah, it's going to be a draw game. Man City have not really gotten themselves. It's going to be a draw game.
They've not gotten to gear 1.
Yes,
like they've forgotten. All right.
Yes,
I don't know what you think. Arsenal, Man City this weekend. Your prediction? Arsenal will be at home at the Emirates, and Manchester City will be traveling away, traveling from Etihad to the Emirates.